There's something by your front door that's been sitting there for years. You walk past it every day. You don't look at it, not really. It's just there doing its job. But what if that one object, so ordinary it fades into the background, is doing more than you think? What if it's been quietly signaling to opportunity, to peace, to money itself? This home isn't ready. We all have areas of our home that feel stuck, corners that haven't moved in years, rugs that haven't been cleaned in months, things we keep not because we need them, but because we forgot how to let them go. It's easy to overlook them, but energy doesn't. And in homes that feel tight, drained, or a little too quiet, these small objects often carry the weight of something bigger: resistance. Now, I'm not here to tell you that a rug can ruin your life or that dust alone can block your bank account, but I am going to show you how the spaces we ignore often mirror the energy we've stopped paying attention to, how certain items quietly send the message that we're still holding on, even when we want to move forward. Especially one item, so common in American homes, that wealthy people remove faster than you'd expect. Because they understand something simple: a house doesn't have to be broken for it to feel blocked. Sometimes it's just one overlooked detail, one rug, one cracked mirror, one item collecting dust. That keeps good energy from finding its way in. So before we jump into all the complicated things that might be affecting your finances, your clarity, or your energy, we're going to look at the simplest one. And it starts where most guests enter and most money turns around: the front door. Part 1, wealth or poverty, begins with how you treat your objects. We don't usually think of our homes as reflections of our financial patterns. We think of bills, jobs, investments, external things. But if you look closely, if you really walk through your home with a clear and quiet mind, you'll notice something else. The physical objects you live with every day are telling a story. Not just about your taste or your habits, but about your energy. And that story may be shaping your wealth more than you think. You see, the way we treat the objects in our space is often the way we treat flow of time, of energy, of money. People who feel stuck financially often live in homes that are also stuck. Drawers that won't close, shelves with things they haven't touched in years, closets so full they groan when opened. Not because they're messy, but because something in them is still trying to hold on, just in case. There's no judgment in that. We all do it. The old blender we swear we'll fix. The pile of mail we'll get to soon. The broken chair we move from room to room but never sit in. These items don't shout. They don't demand attention. They just sit quietly, holding a kind of stale energy. And over time, that stillness grows heavy. Wealthy people, and I don't mean just financially rich but energetically open, tend to treat their space differently. They don't keep what no longer serves. It's not because they're cold or detached. It's because they understand something simple and powerful. Energy needs room to move. And so does money. Let's pause here. Think about one corner in your house that you avoid. Maybe it's a cabinet full of tangled cords and things you haven't used since 2009. Maybe it's a bin in the garage labeled miscellaneous that's never once been opened since the day you moved in. These aren't just places of clutter. They are places of energy blockage. Now here's the emotional truth we rarely speak. The reason we keep these objects isn't always practical. Often it's emotional. We keep the broken lamp because we feel guilty for wasting money. We hold onto an old coat because it reminds us of someone who's gone. We leave the exercise bike in the corner not because we'll use it, but because moving it would admit we gave up. These decisions, small as they seem, compound. Every object you keep just in case becomes a quiet signal to your nervous system that you're not ready to move forward, that you're still bracing for loss, that you're still living inside a version of your past. And when your home becomes a museum for things you no longer use, need, or love, your energy can't fully circulate. That affects your clarity, your mood, your motivation, and yes, your finances. Now here's where it shifts. Most people assume becoming wealthy means adding things, assets, income streams, opportunities. But in truth, the first step is always subtraction. The wealthy are quick to remove what no longer holds value. They're not sentimental about dead energy, not because they don't feel, but because they know the cost of holding on too long. Imagine this: two people walk into the same opportunity. One carries a sense of lightness, a space in their mind and home that's ready to receive. The other is still cluttered, mentally, emotionally, physically. Who do you think moves faster? Who do you think sees the opening and steps into it without hesitation? It starts at home, and more specifically with how you treat the small, silent objects around you. If your home is full of things that remind you of delay, guilt, fatigue, or emotional weight, then your energy is not in flow, it's in pause. Let me tell you a quiet truth I've seen over and over again. When someone clears their space, truly clears it, not just tidies but releases, something always shifts. I've seen promotions follow trash days. I've seen clarity return when a storage unit is emptied. I've seen tears fall just from letting go of a sweater someone kept for years without knowing why. Because it's never about the object, it's about what it represents. That's why the most powerful question you can ask as you walk through your home is this: does this still serve me? Not was it expensive, not what will I do without it, but simply, does it still support who I am becoming? If the answer is no, you're allowed to let it go, even if it feels strange at first, even if it feels a little sad, because in that release you create space, not just on your shelf, but in your life. There is a kind of richness that begins the moment you choose alignment over accumulation. When your outer environment begins to match your inner clarity, life stops fighting against you. Things start to flow again, and it often starts with the simplest objects, the coffee mug you never liked but kept, the file cabinet full of paper you haven't opened in years, the boxes of cords, the unopened perfume, the lamp that hums. They are not evil, they're just stuck. And so are you if you let them stay. So as we move forward in this video, I invite you to look at your space with new eyes, not as a problem to fix, but as a map. Where the clutter is, there's usually a story. Where the stuckness is, there's usually a fear. And where there's fear, there's always the opportunity for release. Wealth doesn't just enter through luck or hustle, it enters through readiness. And that readiness shows up in the quiet corners of your life. Start there. Part 2, a dusty doormat equals a sign that says money do not enter. There's a moment, often unnoticed, right when you step into a home. It's that first second your foot crosses the threshold when something inside you quietly asks, "Am I welcome here?" It's not a question of hospitality or decor, it's something deeper. A sensing, an energetic cue, and believe it or not, the very first answer you receive often comes not from a person, but from a rug. Most people don't think much about their doormat. It's just there like the background music of the house, familiar, faded, practical. But in the world of energy, that worn, dusty square of fabric is more than a place to wipe your shoes. It's a threshold, a filter, a messenger, a gatekeeper. It speaks even if you're not listening. And what it often says day after day is, "Don't bring good things in here, we're not ready." Pause with me. Think about the rug at your own front door. How long has it been there? What color was it when you bought it, and what color is it now? Do you remember the last time you lifted it, shook it out, washed it? If it could talk, what do you think it would say about the way energy is treated in your home? In homes where abundance flows freely, the entrance is always treated with care, because it's not just the physical doorway, it's the energetic one. It's where everything begins: conversations, mail, laughter, groceries, blessings, and also stress, bills, bad news. Life passes through the door, but if the first thing it meets is a tangle of dirt, faded fibers, and a silent kind of neglect, then it hesitates. Energy, like people, senses when it's not welcome. And here's the truth we often overlook: the front door isn't just about aesthetics, it's about invitation. A dusty rug doesn't just signal laziness, it signals energetic stagnation. It tells the world we've stopped paying attention. We're surviving, not thriving. We don't expect anything new. This isn't about being spotless or picture perfect. No one's asking for a showroom entryway, but there is a difference between lived in and forgotten, and a doormat that hasn't been touched in seasons doesn't say, "Come in." It says we've stopped refreshing. In many homes, the rug is the first and last point of contact for energy. You step in with all your daily weight, your worries, your momentum, your breath, and the rug receives it. Over time, it absorbs the unspoken heaviness of life. And if left alone, it becomes heavy itself, not just in fabric, but in presence. I've walked into homes where everything else was lovely: clean countertops, gentle lighting, even fresh flowers. But the rug, it looked like it had given up. Flat, stained, forgotten. And that single object shifted the entire feeling of the space. It was like the house was whispering, "We're fine," but the rug was quietly screaming, "We're tired." And if that's what greets opportunity or prosperity or peace at your door, how long do you think they'll stay? Let me be clear, this isn't about magical thinking. This isn't about bad luck or superstition, it's about respect. Respect for the portal through which your entire life flows. Respect for your own space. Respect for energy itself. Because when you care for the entrance of your home, something in you shifts too. You stop rushing in like a guest and start arriving like the owner of your energy. You begin to greet your space with presence, and in return it starts responding with lightness, clarity, and yes, sometimes with more flow in your finances. There's a story I remember, a woman who'd been feeling stuck for months. Work wasn't going well. Her relationships felt flat. Her energy was off. She'd tried everything from coaching to crystals, but the shift didn't come until one afternoon. While cleaning, she noticed her doormat. It was the same one she'd used since her last apartment years ago. Same dirt, same wear, same unresolved season of life. She threw it away without overthinking, bought a new one, nothing fancy, just fresh. Within a week, she said the house felt different. She felt different. She started making bolder decisions. The calls she'd been waiting for came through, not because of the rug itself, but because she finally told her home. And her energy, we're starting again. The doormat is symbolic, but the impact is real. In practical terms, it reflects the way we let things in, the way we welcome guests, the way we say, "I care about what crosses this boundary." And in emotional terms, it reflects whether or not we believe we still deserve new beginnings. because at the heart of it, a dusty doormat is rarely just about dirt. It's about the version of yourself that accepted being overlooked, that got used to feeling stuck, that kept hoping things would get better without changing a thing. Replacing it isn't just cleaning, it's reclaiming. So here's what I invite you to do. Before you chase the next opportunity, before you push harder or add more to your to-do list, walk to your front door. Look down, ask yourself honestly, is this how I want to greet the life I'm trying to build? If not, you know what to do. Shake it out, wash it, replace it, thank it, even for the years it stayed. And then give yourself permission to receive something better. Because every day the world brings things to your door. Ideas, chances, people, money. And whether they enter or turn away often depends on the smallest, quietest signals. Like a rug that says, we're open. Or one that says, we've stopped trying. Choose the one that speaks to who you're becoming, not the one that holds who you used to be. Part 3, a scratched mirror equals a distorted reflection of who you are. Every morning, like clockwork, we look into a mirror to check our hair, our clothes, our face. But we rarely ask what that mirror is actually showing us beyond the surface. We assume a mirror reflects truth, but what if it's broken? What if it's cloudy, scratched, chipped at the corners, or slightly warped? Then the reflection isn't truth anymore, it's a distortion. And if you're looking into that distortion every day without noticing, over time, it starts shaping how you see yourself, even how you carry your energy into the world. A scratched mirror doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention like clutter or mess. It sits quietly, still doing its job. But the job is flawed. You see yourself in fragments, in subtle shadows. Your outline is off. Your face looks tired when it's not. Your energy feels dulled even before the day begins. And slowly you start absorbing that, not because you're weak, but because repetition matters. The image you receive again and again has power even when it's slightly off. In the world of subtle energy, mirrors are more than decoration. They're amplifiers. They double what they reflect. A bright room becomes brighter. A heavy feeling becomes heavier. And when the surface of a mirror is damaged, scratched, dirty, cracked, it distorts not just light, but intention. It returns a broken message to the space and to you. Now think of the mirror in your bedroom, or by your front door, or in your bathroom. Think of how often you pass by it without fully seeing yourself because the glass no longer shows you clearly. That moment, though small, is the beginning of how you feel. And how you feel shapes what you do, what you tolerate, what you expect. A foggy, damaged mirror lowers your frequency, not because of superstition, but because it tampers with one of your most powerful daily rituals, self-reflection. And let's take this deeper. If you've ever felt unclear, uncertain, like you've lost touch with who you are or where you're going, it may not be just in your mind. It might be reinforced every day by a mirror that no longer reflects you accurately. We become what we repeat. If every day you look at a fractured reflection, it becomes normal. You stop questioning it. You think, I'm just tired, or it's fine. But part of your energy is quietly aligning with the brokenness. You don't step into the day with clarity. You hesitate, you compromise. And you don't know why. There's a woman I once spoke to, a successful executive, poised and brilliant, but quietly restless. She told me she hadn't felt grounded in months. Nothing was wrong, but nothing felt right either. When she finally took a step back and looked around her home, she realized the mirror in her dressing room, where she got ready every morning, had a long vertical crack. It had been there for months. She'd ignored it like we all do. When she replaced it, she cried, not because of the object, but because she hadn't realized how long she'd been seeing herself as incomplete. Mirrors are intimate. We don't just use them to check our image, we use them to remember who we are. And if the tool you use for that is damaged, then the version of you that moves through the world is missing something. This is why people with strong energy, grounded, magnetic people, treat mirrors with care. They clean them, they replace them when needed. They position them thoughtfully. Because they understand, the mirror doesn't just reflect your appearance, it reflects your readiness. A scratched mirror reflects back the part of you that's still tolerating almost. Almost clear, almost whole, almost okay. And that tolerance bleeds into other areas, almost satisfied with work, almost fulfilled in love, almost ready for change, but never quite. Now, imagine walking into your bathroom tomorrow morning and seeing your face reflected back in clean, sharp clarity. No cracks, no fuzz, just you, fully present. That moment can change your energy more than any affirmation or podcast, because it's direct, it's unfiltered, it's you meeting yourself without distortion. Replacing a broken mirror is one of the simplest, most underestimated energy shifts you can make. Not because it's dramatic, but because it quietly resets the way you relate to your space and to your own image. It says, I'm done seeing myself as broken. It says, I'm ready to see clearly again. So let's ask the quiet question that really matters here. What reflection have you been tolerating lately? Not just in your mirror, but in your life. What version of yourself have you been staring at, believing it's the truth when deep down you know it's skewed? You deserve to see the full picture. You deserve to walk past your mirror and feel aligned, not because everything's perfect, but because you're no longer accepting partial clarity as enough. One small replacement, one clear surface, one honest reflection. That's how the shift begins. Part 4, broken or unused items equals signals of scarcity. Every home has one. A drawer with broken chargers and batteries that don't work. A cabinet with a coffee maker that hasn't brewed anything in years. A garage shelf with an old humidifier, a cracked blender, or a fan that no longer spins, but you keep it. Not because you use it, but because maybe one day. That maybe is the quiet voice of scarcity. It's soft. It sounds reasonable. It says, it's still useful. It was expensive. You never know. But if you listen closely, you'll realize something deeper. That voice isn't about function, it's about fear. The fear of not having enough. The fear of losing something and not being able to replace it. The fear that letting go means waste, or worse, weakness. And in many American homes, that fear fills entire corners. Closets filled with gadgets from another season of life. Kitchen tools bought with good intentions. Shelves with things that almost work but don't. These objects don't just take up space, they speak. And what they're whispering every time you walk by them is, you're not ready to receive something better. Scarcity isn't always about money. Sometimes it's about mindset. The unconscious belief that more is risky, that flow is dangerous, that safety comes from holding on. And broken or unused items are physical evidence of that belief, sitting in plain sight. They don't just clutter your home, they clutter your emotional bandwidth. Let's get honest. Why do we keep a juicer that no longer runs or a lamp that flickers when plugged in? Why does the old air purifier move from home to home untouched for years? Because in some corner of our psyche, we equate letting go with failure. We keep it to avoid discomfort, not physical, but emotional. The discomfort of accepting that a part of our life didn't unfold as planned. And yet, that discomfort is precisely where growth begins. The truth is, letting go of what's broken doesn't mean you're wasteful. It means you're done holding space for something that no longer serves you. It means you're clearing the runway for what's next. There's a story I think about often, a couple who moved 3 times in 4 years. Each time, they packed a broken water filter. It hadn't worked since their first apartment, but they kept it just in case. Just in case what? That the market would crash and clean water would only come through one faulty machine. No, they kept it because they weren't ready to admit it was over. That season, that purchase, that plan. It sat in the hallway closet, wrapped in dust, like a time capsule for a life they hadn't allowed themselves to outgrow. Here's what's most powerful: they weren't lazy. They were thoughtful, hardworking people. But they didn't see how that one object held the frequency of stagnation. When they finally let it go, not because it was New Year's or Mercury retrograde, but because they were tired, they noticed something. The hallway felt lighter, clearer. And within 2 weeks, the wife received a job offer she didn't expect. Not magic, just movement. We underestimate how much weight broken things carry. Not just their physical bulk, but their emotional signal. They remind you of what you haven't fixed, what you've postponed, what you're still apologizing to yourself for. And the longer you keep them, the louder that message becomes. It's subtle, but it shapes your posture, your decision-making, your confidence. It becomes the invisible soundtrack to your day. You're behind. You didn't follow through. You don't deserve new yet. But what if you chose a new message? What if your space said, I trust there will be enough. I am ready to live in the present. I don't need to prove anything to keep what I love. That shift doesn't come from adding more, it comes from removing what's dead. It comes from treating broken items not as failures, but as graduates. Their time is done, and their exit makes space for clarity, not just in your closet, but in your mind. In many cultures, decluttering is linked to prosperity, not as a superstition, but as a reset. In American life, we often swing between excess and scarcity. We hold onto too much and then we purge in dramatic bursts. But what if the real practice was gentler? What if it was simply learning to notice what no longer supports your next chapter and letting it leave without guilt? There's a chair in some living room that no one sits in, a blender with a cracked lid, a printer that only works on Tuesdays. These aren't just tools, they're energetic placeholders for a life that's paused. When you clear them out, you're not just organizing, you're declaring readiness. The deeper question here isn't, is this broken? It's, does this reflect who I am now? Not who you were when you bought it, not who you hope to become, but who you are today. Because wealth flows to the places where energy flows, and energy flows where attention goes. If your attention is constantly bumping into broken things, your energy stays tied to maintenance, to memory, to managing what no longer works. And it's not about perfection, it's about permission. Permission to release the part of you that stayed small because it felt safer. Permission to own that you deserve functioning, easeful, beautiful tools. Not because you earned them, but because you're alive. Oh, take one small action. Go to the drawer with the broken tech, the cabinet with the unused kitchen tools, the box in the garage you haven't opened in years. Touch each item, not with judgment, but with presence. Ask softly, have you served your purpose? If yes, thank it. If no, let it go. Letting go is not failure, it's forward motion. And with each object you release, you're not losing something, you're claiming space. Space for clarity, for abundance, for ease, for you. Part 5, fake plants, dried flowers, and forgotten decor equals energy that doesn't move. At first glance, they're lovely. A sprig of dried lavender hanging beside the kitchen window. A silk orchid perched perfectly on the entry table. A vase of faded roses from a birthday that now feels like a lifetime ago. Nothing seems wrong, nothing demands attention, and yet something in the room feels off, still, stuck, not in chaos, but in quiet heaviness. And often, the source isn't obvious, because it's not the mess, it's not the clutter, it's the things that once lived but don't anymore. We don't talk enough about the emotional weight of objects that no longer carry life. Fake plants, dried flowers, forgotten seasonal decor tucked into corners. At face value, they're harmless, decorative, convenient, but energy doesn't operate on logic, it operates on life force. And these items, while beautiful in design, are energetically silent. They don't grow, they don't shift, they don't renew, they just sit. And over time, they begin to absorb rather than contribute. Let's start with fake plants. In many American homes, especially those balancing long work hours and low-maintenance living, fake greenery seems like a smart choice. No watering, no wilting, always on. But energetically, they are representations of life without actual vitality. A fake plant mimics something that breathes but offers none of its movement. It's aesthetic, not alive. And when placed in spaces where energy is meant to flow, entryways, dining tables, desks, it becomes a quiet symbol of stagnation. It's not just about plants, it's about the subtle message. When your home is filled with replicas of life, your energy unconsciously learns to settle for the image of growth instead of the experience of it. And over time, you start doing the same, looking productive without actually progressing, feeling busy without feeling nourished, present but not deeply alive. Then there are dried flowers. They hold an odd place in emotional memory, often tied to special moments, a wedding bouquet, a celebration, an old love. We keep them because they once meant something. But over time, their energy fades, not just the petals, but the meaning. What was once fragrant now smells faintly of dust. What was once vivid is now muted and brittle. And what many don't realize is this: dried flowers are the slowest form of energetic decay. They were once alive. Now they are in limbo, not trash, not treasure, just there, draining the energy in the room one silent day at a time. They don't bring life anymore, but they don't leave either. And in that in-between state, they hold us in the past, sometimes lovingly, but more often, quietly pulling us backward. There's a woman I met once who had a stunning bouquet of dried roses on her nightstand. It was from a relationship that had ended years earlier. She said she couldn't throw them away, not because she still missed the person, but because the flowers reminded her of how she used to feel, wanted, seen, adored. But every morning she woke up to a symbol of something that had died, and her energy responded. She started each day anchored to a past version of herself, one she no longer lived but hadn't yet released. Then there's forgotten decor, seasonal wreaths that stay up long after the season is gone, little trinkets that once sparked joy now coated in dust. The temporary wall hanging that's been up for 3 years. These are the quiet ghosts of intention, not loud, not ugly, just absent. And what they create is a home filled with the shell of presence but not the spirit. Energy, like air, needs circulation. And decor that never changes, never moves, never breathes becomes like old wallpaper, ignored, unseen, energetically flat. It may not bother you, but it also doesn't support you. Now, this isn't about minimalism or throwing everything away. It's about being honest. Does this item bring life to my space, or is it just occupying it? Because homes, like hearts, are meant to evolve. What once felt right may not feel right anymore. And the courage to release beauty that has passed its season is a sacred act of renewal. You are allowed to thank something for what it meant, and then let it go when it no longer serves who you are now. Imagine instead replacing that silk fern with a small pothos that trails as it grows, swapping the dried lavender with fresh herbs that scent the air when touched, clearing the forgotten shelf and placing a single clear glass bowl, empty, waiting. Suddenly the room breathes again, and so do you. And if real plants feel overwhelming, start small. One aloe, one succulent, one pot of basil by the window. Let it be your experiment in living energy. Let it remind you that growth is messy, alive, and worth the care. Because here's the deeper truth: a home filled with objects that are alive, even in quiet, humble ways, sends a powerful message to your nervous system. This space is not frozen. This space is changing, which means you are too. You are not meant to live inside the echo of who you used to be. You are allowed to shed, to refresh, to evolve. And often it starts with letting go of the objects that are quietly holding you in pause. So today, walk through your home. Gently, no judgment, just noticing. Touch the silk leaves, smell the dried petals, look at the decor you haven't seen in months, and ask without fear, do you still give me life? If not, thank them and release them. Because every item you let go of becomes space for something real to arrive. Not just in your home, but in your mind, In your heart, in your path forward, let your space be alive. Let your energy breathe. Let things move again. Final, what we've talked about in this video: rugs, mirrors, forgotten items, fake plants, none of them on their own are magical. They don't curse your home or determine your future. But they do something far more subtle, far more powerful. They reflect the way you relate to yourself, to your space, and to the energy you're letting in or pushing away. Because the truth is, energy never lies. It doesn't need words. It speaks through atmosphere, through stillness, through the quiet sigh you release every time you walk into a room that feels a little too full of things, a little too frozen in time. And if that sigh has become familiar, maybe your home is trying to tell you something. Maybe the broken fan in the closet isn't just a fan. Maybe it's your hesitation to move forward. Maybe the cracked mirror isn't just glass. It's the way you've been seeing yourself lately, a little distorted, a little unclear. Maybe the fake plant isn't just decor. Maybe it's your energy saying, "This is enough," when deep down you're craving something real. Letting go isn't always loud. Sometimes it's as simple as taking one thing off a shelf and realizing the space feels lighter. Sometimes it's about finally releasing what you've outgrown, not out of guilt, but out of grace. Because cleaning a home is easy, but clearing it, really clearing it, is a kind of emotional courage. It's not about perfection. It's about alignment between your outer space and your inner truth. So if you've stayed with me through this video, thank you, truly. It means you're already doing the hardest part, paying attention, and I want to leave you with this. You are not behind, you are not stuck. You are simply at the edge of something new. And maybe, just maybe, it starts with letting go of one thing that no longer holds life, so the things that do finally have space to arrive. Be gentle with yourself, trust your timing, and as always, may your home and your life begin to breathe again. Thank you for watching.